Okay, so this is another question and answer video, and this is from Vincent Daniel. It reads, "Hello, Ikenna. Is it possible to interchange AL4 Peugeot 406 automatic transmission with a more reliable automatic transmission?" No, it's not possible. I know some people who might be thinking, how could you say it's not possible? But when generally anything is possible. Yeah, of course, anything is possible. I'm also of that school of thought. Anything is possible. But on this contest, no, it's not that possible like you think. You just you remove you go and remove which one, like, is it AM6? You just remove AM6 and drop it will even fit in, as simple as that. It will match. I mean, it can't even bolt on the engine. That's what I'm saying. Because we are focusing on AL4 now. I mean, which other one that could fit in? Because you remember, you're talking about AL4 in 406. So AL4 in 406 means SU10J4, EW10J4. I mean, it's only, then I think few EW7J4, from what I gathered, had AL4 as well. I've never seen any SU7 with AL4. Basically, they're all manual, all the ones I've seen. So you could say mostly the 2.0 liter engines and maybe EW7J4 were the only one that were produced. That's the electricals of the vehicle work with AL4. Electrical in 406 designed with this engine, produced with this engine, can work with AL4. So that's my point. Because I know EW12J4 did not come with automatic in 406, automatic transmission. V6 has its own gearbox, different from AL4. So now I might say, okay, what about 88? Yeah, 88 can fit in on 406 engine. As any engine in Peugeot 406 that has a AL4 can work with 88. What are not necessarily can work, but at least you can bolt in the 88 transmission on whatever 406 that has AL4. You can. You don't even need to do any, just more like plug and play. However, the AL4, the 88 was produced with as in, what I mean, not Peugeot cars. You can find AL4 that are newer than the 406, like 301, 408, you know. But what I cannot say is the electronics, that works with the gearbox. I can't confirm that they are the same. Might work, might not work. But then the question is, you use the word more reliable. So that's why I said no, because AL4 and 88 are basically the same when it comes to so-called reliability. Same thing, no big difference to me as far as I'm concerned. Of course, the one from the 301 will not fit in. So the 88 you probably will use on 406 will be maybe the one removed from EW10A in 408. No, so which other one? AM6. I know there's a 2.0 diesel engine towards the late model. Not necessarily late. There are some 2.0. I think 2.0 that has up to 160 something HP diesel engine in 407, 307, No, not 307. 307 is about 136 or so. Okay, maybe even the 407, the 136, yeah, it has about 136 horsepower, the diesel engine. So those ones, they have AMCs. But yeah, is the problem. You can both, I think it might, I'm not sure, I can't say for sure. You might be able to bolt on EW engine or 2.0 engine. I can't say for sure. Petrol engine. So since this was also diesel uh, 2.0 engines in 307, T6, 407. But the problem is, even if you can bolt on the engine, it cannot start. The engine cannot start with that gearbox. The only way it can start, you have to do a very serious modification of the gearbox, construction on the gearbox. The gearbox will not work because that gearbox does not have a slot for engine speed sensor, which must work with these petrol engines that with AL4 in 406. So it's now up to you. That's what I'm saying. Even if you bolt on, whether to see if you can change the bear housing. Don't even know if I should still call that thing bear housing, because the way this gearbox is, the bear housing is as if it's even the main gearbox, you know. So it means you have to scatter the gearbox completely and start changing a lot of things in order to maybe swapping the AL4 bear housing onto that AM6, if it will fit in, which might not, I don't know. It's something that before you do, you have to research on, being, you must, go to, most times, being the two gearboxes side by side and physically look at it with your technical eyes, whether it can work. Both bear housing can be swapped. I don't know, because remember, one is 4 speed, the other is 6 speed. I could go on, say that is for the mechanical side. Or you might decide, okay, if you can bolt on, let me find a way, find someone that can be able to create that hole on the AM6 for the 2.0 diesel engine gearbox. Create a hole for the engine speed sensor. It's possible if you can find somebody who can be able to do it. Remember, you have to create two holes. One where the sensor will slot in, the part that goes into the bear housing that faces the flywheel or the flex plate. In this case, the gearbox automatic, the flex plate. Then the second hole where this thing will be bolted on. The engine speed sensor will be bolted on the flywheel, on the bear housing. Unless, I don't know, you might decide, okay, you can't bolt it on, maybe you glue it on it. Well, if you glue it on it, removing it in the future might be a problem. Especially if the glue, because if you use a light gum, it might not stay. So if you use a gum that could hold it for very, very strong, it means removing it is as well damaging the sensor. But like I say, it's all to make it work, right? So maybe it might work. But if you use a glue, normal glue that you can easily remove and without damaging the sensor or that place, it's possible. Now comes the electrical part of the conversion. Remember these transmissions, they have their transmission ECU is completely different from that of AL4, as way different. The AL4 transmission ECU is on 406, is in the same housing with the engine ECU. So the wire goes very far, all the way from the left side of the vehicle. It comes from the interior, goes to the transmission, then from there to some part will now go all above the engine, from the firewall straight to the right side of the engine bay, where the engine ECU box is. That's where you find the AL4 transmission ECU. However, the AMCs, the one on this 2.0 diesel engine in 3076 or 407, guess what? The what's it called? The transmission ECU is bolted directly on top of the transmission, the gearbox itself. So the connection is completely different, wiring connection, and there's no how it will work without the connection, because remember, the connection has to be that, oh, from there, from the inside the vehicle, from the gear lever, connects to the brake pedal, goes to the BSI unit, and maybe other parts of the systems inside the vehicle. Then from there it comes out, go into the engine bay. Then from there it goes to the fuse box. From the fuse box it comes down to the transmission ECU, which is now on top of the gearbox. Then from the transmission ECU, it now goes again and go and connect to the engine ECU on the other side of the engine. See, yeah, that's why I say it's possible, but no, how did I put it? It's not possible. In the sense of the way you ask the question. Is it, can you just swap in? No, it's not. Because AMC is the only transmission I could say compared to AL4 is much better. They do fail, though. Don't get me wrong. I know, as most 407 V6 users, they might tell you they've changed their gearboxes. That you failed on them. Mine failed, remember? When I bought my coupe 407, he failed, was it a month or 2 months after the purchase? It failed. No issue. Before I made the purchase, did everything, inspected the car, test drove it, no problem. Bought the car, used it for a while, no issue. Until one day, boom, less than 2 months. Was it even up to 2 months? Like, what, that same month, sir. I'm talking about days, not even weeks as such. AMC, so that's one, even the one I'm recommending. So I'm just telling you the one that can actually fit it. However, when it comes to durability, it's much better than the AL4. So, so you are left with continue with the AL4. So, I mean, you didn't talk about best option for the AL4, because what you're saying is, from what you're saying, you see it has to be automatic. But if you're asking best option, I would say convert to manual. That's the best option to the AL4. Convert to manual. Let's convert to manual. That chapter is closed. The only thing now will remain is, was the conversion properly done? One, if that one is passed. Number two, how good are you with clutch engagement, driving manual? If you are not that good, it means you'll be spending every now and then changing your clutch kit, because your clutch kit will be failing. You have to be, so that will be mostly the only part you'll be spending money on, which is still cheaper than replacing the gearbox anyway. Automatic, that's AL4 gearbox in 406. So that's the thing. So what I'm explaining to you, see, I always tell people I'm not an automatic transmission specialist or expert at all. So there could be other people that might have some ideas I don't know, that may sit down and look at this and see how they can use another maybe 86 transmission, see if they can convert it and put it to work with EW10J4 and 406, SU10J4R, J4, SU10J4R, yeah, right? Or EW7J4. There could be people that can sit down, but then it's no longer about how good the person is in terms of the maybe especially some transmission. He has to also do with the electrical, like I said. It's not just, okay, the electrical part of the conversion that is even the one that you should be more concerned with. Because like I said, the 406, the AMCs, when they did the AMCs, the connection they did for the AMCs is way ahead, as a completely different from that of the AL4 in 406. So That's the point. And it can't work without the transmission ECU. So you have to find a way. It has to be somebody that can be able to interpret the wiring harnesses. Number one, the wiring harness of the AL4 in 406, or not the, okay, in fact, I'm going, not wiring harness now, it's not even important. The schematics, the wiring schematics, because you have to look at the entire, when I mean schematic, I'm talking about like diagram. You have to look at the entire wiring diagram or schematics of that vehicle. See, if I start with the diagram, the transmission ECU, what and what did it connect to? What part of the vehicle does the transmission ECU connect with in 406? Transmission ECU of AL4. Then you now pull, it's from there you now know, okay, you go to the schematics and see, okay, how do you build the schematics and keep. Then you go to 407 or the 307, depending on which of the vehicle you remove it from, because transmission ECU is different on even the AMCs in 407 for the diesel engine and that of the diesel engine in 307 with the same gearbox. They're not all the same ECUs. It could be Interchange, I don't know, I can't say for sure, but they are not the same ECUs. Connections are different. So you bring that one too, you get the diagram, see what and what, because what the AMCs work with in 407 will not be the same. 407 has more electrical systems than the 406. So the transmission will be connected to so many other things. ESP, this and that, and other braking system that you don't find in 406. So guess what? Those things you have to now find when you see the diagram of 407, complete diagram of 407, or what the transmission issue you work with. Then you now get the schematics. Okay, how can you now convert with the schematics of that AMCs in 407? How can you be able to run the connection for this the AMCs to work with all these other systems in 406 that is supposed to work with, or that is working with in 407? You have to. I mean, let me tell you, give you another instance. AMCs 407, like almost like by standard, they all have ESP, but 406 doesn't. Let me repeat it, because I got it, I didn't say it well. 407, let me keep 307 aside. 407 by standard, they all have ESP. I've never come across one without ESP. And they all, when it means ESP, electronic stability program, I mean the transmission ECU is directly connected to the ESP. It works with it. So, and the 406, only very few of them have ESP. So if your car in your 406 does not have ESP, so it means you have to figure out what to do on that transmission ECU to not, I mean the AMC transmission ECU not to work with ESP. Otherwise, it will allow the transmission to work well. So probably you see if there's a way you can edit the program in the AMC's ECU, or reconfigure it to shut down the part of the that works with the ESP. So it's not that simple. So people, whenever I notice about most people, I'm not saying you, the person that asked this question, I don't say generally, people always look at, oh, is it not just remove this engine model and put a different engine model and all is gone? As if cars are theoretically controlled. You can't do that. If you want to do that kind of conversion, if you're thinking about 504, 404, 505, those are the ones you can mess with, because the electricals don't really control much on the vehicle. But this electrical control one, that's what I tell people. When it comes to inspecting cars or state of a vehicle, condition of a vehicle, general condition of a vehicle, mechanicals are irrelevant to me. A modern car, you forget about mechanicals. Even if the engine is dead, it's irrelevant to me. What matters is the electrical is more important than the mechanical. No matter how sound your engine is, no matter how new the gearbox is, if electrical is a mess, man, The gearbox will not even work. The new engine will not even work. So that's the point. And getting electrical right. Oh. So sometimes it's good to experience such things to understand. Okay, so I hope this helps. So I'll just if I were you, you could as well, if it must be automatic for the AL4 Infosys, you can as well just maybe consider 407 so I can start using AMCs, or you go straight to maybe 508W2 so I can start using ATCs that is much better in terms of durability. They do fail though, don't get me wrong. Even the ATCs, I've come across one that failed. But in terms of as in what you like, what you use the was you reliability, yeah, they are much better. That's why I didn't bother with 4HP20, because 4HP20 is its own issue. Is there. I can't say it's better than AL4 because the transmission uh, oil pump on the 4HP20 it fails with, like, I don't even know. I've seen people that did their best, even using the right ATM, yet the pump, the oil pump in the gearbox will stay packed up. I don't know, maybe the hack was done before they even purchased the gearbox, so it was just a question of time. The new oil, the recommended oil couldn't prolong it, or maybe it just prolonged it a little before it packed up. So if you want to get a Peugeot car with a better automatic gearbox, you have to start thinking of from 308, T7 308 upward, AMC 508, and the rest. That's where you can start getting. Some 308 has AL4. Let me point it out. That T7 308, some actually have AL4. Father, does any of them have maybe? Okay, it's actually, I think it's the facelifted model of T7 that has 86. The earlier version, the early T7 is AL4. Even the turbocharged ones, the AL4. I think from the phase 2 that they introduced the 86, which is the new, that the one gearbox that succeeded AMCs, better improved in terms of performance, acceleration, the rest. The performance, could say, I don't know. I can't say. Okay, for performance, anyway, let me leave it there. But in terms of so-called reliability, durability, yes, 86 is just that's the only gearbox I can start looking from upward when it comes to these two things: reliability, durability. That's where you should focus on. Every other old one, you just have to be doing your best using the recommended field, with hope that it protects or save them from failing. So that's the best. I hope this helps.